cheering him on is just too heartbreaking. Just when it seems he's going to have his breakout moments, he gets the yips. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's so easy to get behind Creator as well. He's so wholesome. So wholesome. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and we all have to appreciate that. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hardled. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV, the Red Protoss. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg representing onside. It is Solar. And we'll see how Creator does approach this. Again, it's been a while since I've had the luxury of casting Creator. We used to cast him like on a weekly basis, but this season we've been casting a little bit less Creator. Just happens to be like the nature of the brackets, and we just haven't been able to catch him, unfortunately. But it's great to see him here once again. Now, when I refer to Creator in his tech-heavy style, especially on larger maps, I'm talking about Alkyone, I'm talking about even Golden Aura, Solaris, and Hecate, we would see Creator go for basically delays Twilight Council, go for a faster Forge, go for a faster Robo, get into a heavy Archon and Immortal count, delaying his upgrades, whether it's Blink or Charge, being less active on the map and going for these kind of death pushes, these death balls instead. We've seen that so commonly out of Creator, and I expect to see that at least at some point in this series. Not every game, but that's kind of what he's known for. That's kind of his iconic playstyle. But we'll see what he goes for here this time. I do think that Creator, he thrives a lot in the mid game, but again, a very different playstyle compared to Hero and Classic. I think Hero and Classic, they're more aggressive and they're always in your face. Creator, a little bit less so. Not saying he can't play Standard, he can, but often he doesn't. And here we go. Based on this pylon positioning, it looks like a Stargate opener out of Creator. Probe is across the map, being as annoying as possible, delaying that expansion, or forcing the unnatural natural. Cybercore is done, and we have our tech of choice. It is going to be that Stargate from Creator. This should be leading into Oracles and leading into a third base. We'll see if Creator spices it up though, as he also has the option to go into Void Race or a Phoenix as well. With that, he can try to hide his tech and go for something very different. We have been seeing players like Classic and Nightmare be very fond of going into Skytoss rushes, like going for a Void Ray first, into a Fleet Beacon, into Tempest. Tempest rushes, maybe a better way to put it. But I haven't seen Creator do that. I'll be honest, I haven't seen Creator really embrace that as much as the others. Maybe he has, but I haven't seen it yet. But now it is going to be the Oracle first, going to be getting across the map. Likewise, Adepts continuing to threaten that shade. Second Adept has arrived. We can one-shot workers. And so far, Solar, he is in position. We have Lings ready here at the third. Lings in the main. Queens as well. We commit to the shade. We do focus down one drone. We get a second, and we're going for a third. 3 worker kills. Not too bad. Going to be trading with the Lings. We want another. Up. Up. Oh my god. Barely gets the 4th worker. Not too bad. Pretty good damage here from Creator. Now, upon losing those Adepts, that triggers a counterattack. That means that, hold up, that means you don't have Adepts to protect your third base. Lings are zooming across the map to delay that third for as long as possible. Meanwhile, the Oracle has arrived. No Spore in the main. And we do focus down another 2. 3 workers, 7 in total. Not bad. But the third is nowhere to be seen. We're actually going for a Void Ray second. Interesting choice here from Creator. Instead of the standard double or even triple Oracle opener, it's a Void Ray. I believe we still intend to expand, and there we go. The probe is on the way to take a third. But yeah, very unique here. We're going to be shutting down the Overlord and denying any scouting information. Third base has been spotted. Oracle still looking for damage, forcing out even forcing some buildings. Again, Solar being punished for cutting corners, being punished for skipping his spores. 0 spores here for Solar. 1 now on the way. So pretty good economic damage overall, especially considering the Creator does keep the Oracle alive. But what's the follow-up tech? There it is, Forge and a Twilight Council. This is looking like +1 and Blink. standard follow-up. The third base was late, I will say that, so the economy is a little bit delayed here for Creator. But we'll see if he can make up for it. Oh, the stasis trap does not go off. Void Ray looking for another Overlord kill, but we have the transfuse. The Overlord will survive. And that is a third Oracle. Interesting, so it's a single Oracle into Void Ray into triple Oracle from Creator. Very unique kind of production setup here. Very unique, very interesting order of units from Creator. As again, he's just trying to catch Solar off guard. Does catch even more drones though. Getting 3, getting 5 more, but up. Oh my god, the Oracle barely gets picked off. Creator, he does fly too close to the sun. In total, that's 12 worker kills for 1 Oracle and 2 Adepts. I would say a good trade for Creator. It did come at a cost though. And the cost really was just, again, the delayed third. Meanwhile, Creator going for the stay strap into the main base as well. Solar, does he react? He does! Does pull back in time. Void Ray just chipping away at those lings. There's that +1 and blink on the way. Void Ray did overextend for a moment, does take some hull damage. Creator back at home, getting to his blink stalkers. How many gates in total? So far, 6 gateways, so nothing too major. Now, what's interesting is that this tech is a little bit delayed as well. Now the Robo gets thrown down. I'm a little bit concerned. Because of the late Robo, that means late Immortals, late Disruptors, late support for the Gateway Army. And it's going to be heavily reliant on Stalkers. Solar is getting up to 3 base saturation, working on a 4th, going for the infestation bit even. Okay, we're rushing into what looks to be Hive. We also have +1 range on the way. So, because we're investing into range upgrades, not melee, this looks like a... Ooh, as we do force a cancel, as the army has arrived. Oh my god, just terrifying Solar here. Giving up on that base. But again, because we have the range upgrades instead of melee, this looks like Roach Ravager into potentially Hydras and Lurkers. That is kind of the... That is a more seamless transition here for Solar because of these upgrades. Speaking of, yeah, there you go. Speaking of, there's the Hydra Den, and with the Hive as well, we can go straight into Lurker upgrades. So, Solar's being a little bit cheeky here. He may be stuck at home, but he's taking up quite heavily into Hydras, into Lurkers, into the Hive, into Vipers as well. So, this is a really good way to kind of counteract this tech-heavy style from Creator. Creator, he doesn't have too many gateways. He's being active with some of these Stalkers, but he's not going for any kind of committed pushes. That is a second Robo on the way. Our Robotics Bay, he's getting into double Colossus production, or double Disruptor production. Either or. There we go. Colossus are on the way. This is good against Roach Ravager, Ling Bane. Not so much against Lurkers. And I believe Creator is in the dark. I believe Creator, he did see the Infestation Bit. He should be aware. The Infestation Bit is a tell. So, Creator's on a timer. We gotta go. So far, we do see Solar just trying to distract the army, being active here on the right-hand side. Creator does spot this. And the problem is that Creator, he needs time to get into his 2 and then 4 Colossi. That is a big power spike when he gets up to 4 Colossi, but if he waits that long, Solar will have Lurkers. Now the Warp isn't moving in the main base, but Solar, he's in position. And Solar just keeping up with all the aggression. He's not moving out. He's not trying to apply pressure to Creator, which is what Creator wants. That's the thing. Creator, he wants to try to defend against attacks and have his opponent throw away supply and crash into his setup. But Solar, he's not giving him what he wants. He's just taking up. He's like, okay, if you want to get into Colossi, that's fine. I'm gonna just get into Lunkers. You do you, Bobby. You do you. Here we go. Creator, he is moving out. Again, the pressure is on Creator to try to make something happen here and now, but Lunkers, they're already on the way. It's too late. It's soon to be too late. Now, thankfully for Creator, no Vipers. Still no Vipers are out. I spoke too soon. Vipers are on the way. Creator is pushing on forward. The lurkers are in position. Good revelation. We're going to try and dive on top of the lurkers. Bold move here from Creator. He gets 1, he gets 2. Getting 3. Not bad. But he loses so much in the process. That was a bit of a Hail Mary play, diving on the lurkers. Does keep his Colossi alive. There's only 2 left. Up. He gets on top of another. The transfuse. The transfuse keeps the lunker alive. And finally, one is going to go down. Down to 1 lurker. But again, Creator, he lost so much trying to break this position. Pushing into lurkers is never an easy thing to do. Gets another, but 4 more finish up. And Creator, he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. The Viper arrives. We yoink the Colossus. And that should be all the Creator has left, especially with the Vipers. As I say that, we do get on top of it, though. Oh, can we pull this off? How many lurkers? 0. 0 lurkers left. And we still have 3 Colossus. We still have 2 Colossus. And Creator, he's doing it. He's pushing on through. He's breaking the space. But as I say that, this army is still so low. The Disruptor. The Nova goes off. Big connection. Massive connection on the Roaches. We dive on top of the army. GG gets called in. Creator barely breaks through. He takes down Solar in game 1. Oh my god. That was such a close attack. GG. Creator. Oh my god. Again, he was fully aware that he was on a timer. Bold move to dive on top of the lurkers the way that he did. Clutch transfuses out of Solar as well. Barely keeping that one. There were like 6 transfuses on 1 lurker. Keeping it alive for so long. But barely Creator. He got on top of them. He barely cleaned them up. And it was then and there. Like, he had to win the game at that point. Otherwise, it would just snowball in the opposite direction. As Solar almost got away with taking up into lurkers, and Creator barely able to break him. GG. That was a game. Oh my god. That was wild. And with that, Creator, he does take a lead in this series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Oh. The Nova was pretty clutch. Yep, true. Very clutch. If it wasn't for that, it's also very possible that Solar holds. Like, the army of Creator was just so battered, so bruised. A lot of it deep in the red. And here we go. We're getting into game 2. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV, leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Onside down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. It is Solar. Oh, here we go. Creator made the smart moves to dive on top of the lurkers when they were low. 100%. I mean, again, like, he was... I almost want to say Creator was all in. Like, if he didn't get on top of the lurkers then and there, then Solar would snowball out of control. Like, the lurker count would get higher, the Viper count would get higher as well. He only had 1 Viper there for the defense. Like, that attack from Creator was very much so on a knife's edge. Like, that was the moment. Otherwise, he would have to back off, he would have to take a defensive stance and take up into Sky Toss. And he would have been late to take up into Sky Toss as well. So... that was intense. As we're getting into game 2, Solar going for a hatch gas pool, able to take his natural. Able to take a much more standard base layout here. As we're settling into game 2. We're catching up. I feel like the Brood War lurkers was scarier. The Brood War lurkers, it's really hard to compare StarCraft 2 and Brood War. Like, they're the same in name. They're both StarCraft and they have the same units, but like, I feel like the units they play very different. I don't know if I want to say different roles, but they're just different units in general. Like, comparing the Brood War Ultra to the SC2 Ultra as well. Like, yeah. I'd probably like, I would agree that the Brood War Lurker was more impactful, but at the same time, in general, units in Brood War were more impactful just because there's less of them on the screen and less to work with. Yeah, there's just just a very different game. One that you can appreciate as well. Do appreciate Brood War. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Let's go. I think another big reason why lurkers, they're a little bit hit and miss in StarCraft 2 just because they have like there's a period in the game where they're amazing, but then they do get outscaled depending on which matchup you're talking about. In ZvP, they get outscaled by Skytoss, so you have to get out of lurkers. You don't want to get stuck on them. Likewise, against Terran, once Terran gets into tank, lib, ghost, you have to get out of lurkers as well, because lurkers, they don't scale well into the late game. It's only really ZvZ where lurker, like Hydra Lurker Viper, like that is the late game of ZvZ. And really what you would be working on. Meanwhile, Adepts, they shade into the main base once again, getting 3 drones. Not as much as last time. In game 1, they got 4. But yeah, I think a big like perception of the lurker in StarCraft 2 is because of that as well. The fact that in a lot of matchups they have like a bit of, they don't have as much staying power. Maybe that's a better way to put it. They got outscaled, fat. Meanwhile, the Oracle does get into main base once again, finding more drones here. No Spore from Solar. Oh, doesn't get the Oracle. 3 more worker kills, 6 in total. We saw this last game. This is very a laser-esque. I don't know how I feel about it, but Solar, he just refuses to throw down spores. He's defending with purely Queen, which you can do, don't get me wrong, but is having a hard time maintaining control of his mineral lines. It's a high risk, high reward, where you want to try to cut corners and delay your spores for as long as possible, but at the same time you want to make sure you don't lose drones, otherwise it's not as worth it. So we have a spore in between the bases, at least at the natural. Lings are moving out. And once again, Creator, he is taking up into that Forge, and that Twilight Council plus on and Blink should be on the horizon. Now, we saw that Creator, he only went up to 6 gateways in the last game, so he was only applying light pressure with his gateway army. He wasn't really committing with it. Really, his power spike as the Oracles, they get into the main once again, and once again, there is no Spore. 6 more drones go down. Now, at what point, how many drones have to die for a Spore to be thrown down in the main? We get a Spore at the 3rd at least. Is that the 3rd? And the natural. Both Oracles did survive. They did recall back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they did recall back home. Cool. Solar is getting into his lair. What was I referring to? Oh, yeah. The big power spike moment was Creator getting up to 4 Colossi. He had his first 2, then his second 2. That was his moment. But we'll see if he goes for a similar playstyle this time. As there's that Robo on the way. We are indeed going for Blink, not Charge. We're taking a lot of hits there. Everything was downgraded, except Marines. Oh, man with gun. We don't have to talk about that. It's fine. As the Oracles, they're still not done, but oh my god, they're getting another 5 kills and they both escape. Creator. Calm down. I'm afraid to look here at the units lost tab, but that is 17. 17 worker kills for 2 Adepts. Creator, mate. Getting so much economic damage done, and again, punishing Solar for not throwing down those spores earlier. Oracle going to be threatening the main base this time. Solar's in position. Solar attempts to go for a Link counterattack, but Creator, he does deflect him. And here we go. We have our gateway explosion upon us. We have 3 gateways done, 4 more on the way, 7 in total. And there is that Robo and Robotic Spade. Double Robo production once again. So 2 games in a row, Creator, he's going for that kind of tech-heavy Mass Colossus style. I'm reading this as Mass Colossus. Technically, he could go into double Disruptor production, but Colossi should be the name of the game here. And this time, Creator is very well set up for this. Like, he's on a solid 3-base economy. He's working towards his 4th. And Solar can't really touch him. Like, he can't really stop these Colossi from getting up and running. Solar, instead, he's going to be taking up. Once again, Infestation Pit. We do have the Hive on the way, +1 range. This looks very similar to the last game. This looks like we're working towards Hydras and Lurkers again. The difference is that this time Solar does have a safety Baneling Nest, so he can go into Lingbane Roach Ravager, which is a more solid and safer mid-game army. And just like last game, there it is, double Colossus production. Lings try to harass, but alas, we are in position. Creator, he does deflect the army. And again, he's only harassing with these Adepts, he's only harassing with these Stalkers. He's not committing to any kind of big push until his Colossus come out. This is why I refer to it, like, Showtime plays a very similar style to this, where you just, basically, Showtime just turtles. And Creator, he's doing something similar. He's still harassing, don't get me wrong. We even have Zealots in the main base. But he's kind of building up his forces here, getting ready for his eventual real push. He's powering up. Stalkers have hit the field. Hey, they do run into the main army, though. Creator, he has to be careful. Bling Ravager coming from behind. An interesting Creator. He is not waiting for his 3rd and 4th Colossus. He's moving out with 2. A much earlier push this time. Hoping to catch Solar off guard. The War Prism has arrived. The Prism! No! The War Prism barely is going to escape. Oh my god, the Queen! No shot, the Queen survives. It takes down the War Prism. Not like this. Without the War Prism, we cannot reinforce. We have a backup Prism on the way. We can't reinforce. We can't juggle either. Creator, he's in a really difficult position here. Vipers are arriving. Banelings are finishing up. Show us the force fields. We need them. Decent force fields are thrown down, but the Colossi are exposed. Staystrap barely does catch some of that army. Link's coming from behind, but they do get caught out. And Creator, he can keep pushing. But has he overextended? We need reinforcements. The Yoink comes in. We get 1 Colossus. We get the 2nd Colossus as well. Just barely, and we surround the army. Again, without the War Prism, we couldn't save the Colossi. We couldn't reinforce. Creator gets shut down. And there was no 4th base. There was no follow-up. It was all or nothing for Creator. And Solar survives. Solar, he's basically at 80 workers, has another base on the way. That was the scariest moment. That was the timing that Creator was building up towards, and alas, was not good enough. Did not kill Solar, didn't even cripple him. It needed to at least take down the base. Now Creator is in a very difficult position. I mean, sure, he's building up another 2 Colossi, this is true, but this time, we have Vipers. We have 2 of them, full of energy, ready to abduct. Ready to shut down the army. Creator now taking a 4th. He's going to be stuck at home. Meanwhile, Solar working towards Adrenal, +2 melee. No Hydrogen this time. I do think that if Solar was taking up into Hydras, then Creator would have had a much better attack, more success. Big stasis trap. But where are the Colossi? We need them. Colossus just now coming out, but the Vipers have been waiting for them. If we commit, we can go for the abduct. The Oracle going ham. No anti-air. No anti-air. We're going to be able to pick off a couple of Ravagers. Solar just going to be remaxing. He's going to be remaxing, getting up to that 200 supply. He has to be very careful with those Vipers. And yeah, they're going straight for the Colossi. We get 1, and we get 2. Both glass they go. Oh, we do barely save 1 of them, though. The power of the War Prism. We save a Colossus. Oh my god. And I'm sure that's what Creator would have liked to have done earlier in the previous attack. But now Creator, he has a bit of momentum. He can push forward. The Vipers, did they survive? They did. The Vipers gathering up energy as quickly as they can. They need time. The Vipers, they need more time. This base is going to go down. Creator, he's close to maxing out. Getting on top of these Banelings. But we get another Yoink. And this time the War Prism is not there to save it. We're down to 1 Colossus. Hatchery goes down, but Solar did evacuate his workers. He did save everything. Still on 80 workers. Still on a solid drone count. Creator, he may have killed the base. That was good, but he needs more than that. He's going to be rotating around, clearing up as much creep as possible, getting into additional Colossi. Going for a bit of a split push. At the same time, a big link counterattack. Getting into the natural. Oh, and Creator is being caught out. Bit of an overextension here from Solar. Creator collapsing on this army. And ideally he wants those Vipers. Oh! Oh, barely doesn't get them. Gets one volley off, but the Viper survives. Meanwhile, the Ling run by was cleaned up. We have another on the way. Going for the natural. But running into Colossus. The Vipers! One gets sniped. Big pickoff. Massive pickoff. Meanwhile, throughout all of this, Solar has been taking. He may not be going into Lurkers, but he's getting into Ultras instead. 3 Ultras are in production. Kindness Plating is about to finish up. Listing counterattack, finding a little bit of damage. The gateway is going to go down. Creator trying to find another hatchery. The Ling's doing a surprising amount here. They're going to be able to deny the warp in. Oh my god. Depowering the Robo. Disrupting the production. Not too bad. Ultras have arrived. We do have a bit of a lull period here, and Creator had some momentum earlier, but Solar's stabilizing. Remember, he has been maintaining his worker count. Now getting into Ultras. Making use of his melee upgrades. Solar, he does want to get rid of these roaches. Roaches, they are inflated supply. The Ultra Cavern! Oh! We get it! We take down the Ultra Cavern. We deny speed! Not kindness plating, but a good pickoff nonetheless. Creator. Popping off. Now, what I would love at this point, he has spotted the Ultras, so he's aware of that tech, so we're getting into Immortal production. I would have loved a Fleet Beacon as well. A Fleet Beacon to start working towards Sky Toss. We have a bit of a moment. We have a moment to breathe here, so Creator, he can tech, but for now he's committing to Ground Toss. Oh! High Templar. High Templar is going to be forced to morph into the Archon. Ultras are breaking on through. Where's the rest of the army? The Colossus are exposed. The Stalkers are not where they need to be. 1, 2 Colossi go down. We're getting into the mineral line as well. The Stalkers, they come in from behind, but these are expensive losses here for Creator. Juggling these Colossi well. Ultras, they're getting on top of these Stalkers. We take down the mineral line. 16 probes go down. And Creator, he survives, he holds on, but that was a brutal fight. That was 5 Ultras for 3 Colossi, and 21 Stalkers went down. And Stalkers are very expensive units. They need to build up over the course of the game. Creator, he's all in. He's pushing onto creep. Exactly what Solar wants. As he snipes the Nexus. Solar, he's got 6 more Ultras on the way. As Lings, they take down one base, they're going for another. Again, there's no turning back for Creator. He has a pretty impressive army. He's got 3 Immortals. But this is all he has. He can go for a reinforcing warp in as well. They come the Vipers. Oh, blinding cloud on the army. The Bathers, they crash on forward. And the Ultras, they go to town on this. The Immortals get cleaned up. There's just too much Zerg. The Biles. They connected with the Colossus as well. We clean everything up. GG gets called, and Solar will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was pretty back and forth, actually. Despite... Okay, so the first push from Creator had a lot of potential. Like, remember, he killed 17 drones at the start of the game. 17 workers. He was so set up to kill Solar then and there with his first 2 Colossus push. And then they lost his Warp Prism. Honestly, if he hadn't lost that Warp Prism, we would have seen a very different game. Even if that attack hadn't killed Solar, Creator would have done so much more with it. He would have been in a much better position even if he was deflected. Like, that was a big moment. That was a massive moment for Solar. He sacrificed his queens to kill that War Prism, and he got it in the end. Again, that allowed, that meant that the Colossi couldn't be microed, they couldn't be juggled, likewise you couldn't reinforce, and from that moment, Solar he was in a leading position, and then Creator came back. He was able to max out himself, able to clean up the army for the most part, have good fights, eventually led into Ultras, and yeah, we had a back and forth game there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 3. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hecate. We have our South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. Ooh, in a tied up series here, representing Club NV, it is Creator. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, tying it up 1-1. Representing on side, it is Solar. Here we go. Oh my god, that's a lot of Denver? I haven't seen Denver in a long time. That's some Denver emotes. Let's go. As we're getting into our gate expand, getting into a pretty standard opener here from Creator. Likewise, we have Solar as well, going for the unnatural natural, going for a hatch gas pool. This is something that Dark does as well, where he actually keeps his drone hidden and he will take his natural. Let's go. Is this worth it? It is inefficient. Fun fact, it's inefficient to delay your expansion for this long and to wait for the probe to move. Sometimes it doesn't pay off and the probe stays there. But Solar, he was waiting for that probe to maneuver elsewhere to check the linear third, and he takes his natural. Oh, let's go. Dark does this as well, if he feels like he can get away with it. Again, it's a really risky maneuver because, again, if the probe doesn't leave, then you're just getting further behind. You're just delaying your expansion for no reason. So with that, Solar, he's able to expand here at his natural base. This does mean that he has a cleaner setup here to defend against a Twilight Council opener, against Glaive Adepts or Dark Templar. He will have a better setup. Oh, okay, Denver Max, I see. I understand. Sorry, I thought you were referring to the player Denver, the French player. Old school, Bondi, old school. Well, for now, a big shout out to Killer in the chat. D4V3, thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the emotes added to your collection, and the replay packs as well. We do appreciate the support. Again, all the money that we make here on the channel goes towards our tournaments, so thank you. Do appreciate it. Quack, Bobby, quack. As Solar is going to be taking his third. And we are getting into our openers. Once again, Creator is going for a Stargate opener. We've seen some pretty similar openers out of Creator every game so far in this series. Going for a Stargate first into his Oracles. We saw some kind of Void Ray shenanigans in game number 1. But something that we have to praise here is that Creator, he has been popping off when it comes to his Oracle Harass. And a part of that is also because of Solar. We were harping on it a little bit in the last game, but throughout game 1 and game 2, maybe game 3, Solar has been cutting spores. He has been intentionally delaying spore production, trying to defend with purely Queen and slow Lings, or Queen Ling, and Solar's been punished. Remember, last game he lost 17 drones to Oracle Harass, and Creator didn't lose a single Oracle, and I'm sure Creator wants to try to replicate that. Wants to try to do that once again. And we'll see if Solar continues to cut spores. Oh, there we go. Let's go. We have a spore. Much earlier compared to previously. So it looks like Solar, he's learned his lesson. He has recognized, hold up, tonight at least, Creator, his Oracle control has been insane. I have to respect it, and I will get some spores. At least some. So we have a spore at the natural. The main is still a little bit more exposed, but we should have 3 queens in position. We should be okay. As Creator, he's taking his first Oracle is moving out. And we do find a couple of workers here at the third base, but spores are morphed in, saving the drones in the end. keeping everything alive. You could see that the creator, he came back hoping that we already had a cancel, just to try to pick off another drone. But Solar, he delays the cancel, keeps him safe. And this time, Solar hasn't lost any drones. 0 drones dead so far. So far, so good. But Creator is looking to change that. Now moving out with 3 Adepts on the ground and 1 Oracle in the air. We have a 3rd Oracle in production as well to meet up with the 1st. And this is a very different follow-up, by the way. This is a Robo before Twilight Council. This is looking like a much more tech-heavy style here out of Creator. Adepts are going to be threatening that Shade. With this faster Robo, we can get into faster Immortal production, maybe even rush into Colossus. And we will have delayed Blink. Delayed Blink, delayed Charge. Delayed upgrades in general. There we go. Forge is now on the way. And this is what I was referring to at the start of the series, as we do threaten the Shade into the natural. We do have a Link counterattack here at the same time, but there's an Oracle in position. We should shut this down. But this is the build that I was referring to at the very start of the series, where Creator goes for a much more tech-heavy style, where he delays Blink, he delays Charge, goes into a much more Immortal Archon-heavy composition. We commit to the Shade! We get into the natural base, the Lings are going down, we're trying to focus down as many drones as we can. We get 3! And we Shade into the natural as well. Meanwhile, the Oracles, they do not find a way in. The Adepts are forced to recall. But we only lost 1 Adept. A pretty good trade overall. Oh, as the Oracles, they threaten the 3rd. No Spore in position. The drones, they have to be evacuated. 6 drones go down. And Solar's going for a massive counterattack. But we have Adepts back at home. The Adepts are here. We will hold. Behind this, it was a Robo first into a War Prism, actually. Prism's going to be moving out. Charge is on the way. Again, Charge is delayed, but on the way nonetheless. And this should be for Charge-Lot Archon. Archons should be coming out to reinforce this. There it is. Templar Archives is on the way for said Archons. Solar did invest into a lot of these things, and he has to make use of them somehow, some way. And as Solar's being hyper-aggressive, as he's trying to contain his opponent, we have a Spire thrown down for Solar. Let's go. Gonna try to sneak into Mutas. Bold move. Spire is on the way. Meanwhile, we're going for a second Stargate here. I wonder, have we taken note of the amount of gases that have been taken? So far, we haven't seen the Spire itself. Creator just happens to be going for Phoenixes nonetheless. And Immortals, of course. Again, very Immortal Archon-heavy composition. Drop comes in. Phoenix has been spotted, and we cancel the Spire. Wise move here out of Solar. Spots the Phoenixes ahead of time. Is going to be going to Lingbane Roach Ravager instead. This also means that the Phoenixes, they aren't going to have as much use. They're going to be able to shut down Overseers and shut down Overlords, true, but outside of that, I'm not too sure. I mean, I hope we don't commit too hard to this, as we're just doubling down on Phoenix production. Meanwhile, Solar knocking down these rocks, opening up some attack paths. Additional Phoenixes are on the way. Solar trying to catch out this army. Does get us around. 1 Archon goes down. Big pickoff. Creator, has he been a little bit too greedy? We really don't have much to protect these. Yeah, to protect the High Templar. Forces another Archon. Roach is coming in from behind as well. Yeah, we have to activate the Pulsar Beam. We have to chase down these Roaches. Big stasis trap. Solar, he's doubling down. He's cutting workers at 82. I mean, pretty solid worker count, to be honest. He's just doubling down on Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Even waddling the Queens over. Creator, has he been too greedy? Has he been too tech-heavy? We're working towards a second Robo. Immortal production. Again, the Phoenixes, they're not really helping here. We're going for a Zealot counterattack. We're trying to force a reaction, but Solar, he's committed. He's maxed out at this point. 200 supply. Bailey's speed does kick in. Again, the Phoenixes, what can they do? They do nothing. The 4th base is going to go down. At the same time, these Zealots, they are wreaking havoc. They do get a mineral line. 7 drones. Even 8. Are they going for the base? Up! Oh, and they will get the hatchery. Not a bad pickoff, trading a base for a base. The creator, he still desperately needs that fourth. Phoenixes, they're doing what they can. They get a Ravager. They're helping, at least a little bit. As Solar, he's remaxed, moving out once again, now collapsing, looking to collapse on this third. Storm is still not done, by the way. We have all these High Templar, but no Storms. Ay, ay, ay. Good force fields. The force fields are being knocked down. So far, the creator, he does hold. Pretty impressive defense, not gonna lie. Against all odds, against the numbers, creator, he does hold. He does punish some of these Ravagers. Phoenix is actually getting some decent pickoffs here. Punishing the army, catching more roaches. Solar backing off. Now, what is worrisome here is that Solar is just now throwing down a Hydroden. Like, this is a mid-tier army, Lingbane Roach Raptor, and it doesn't scale well as the Immortal count gets higher, as Storm kicks in. Like, creator, he's going for a more higher quality army. Oh! And Solar has been on a one-track mind. He's going for the fourth. Big storms on the links, but we do force a cancel. The base, they crash in. Oh my god. They do crash in. They get into the mineral line as well. 13 probes go down, and once again, creator cannot take a fourth. He's been trying desperately to expand. He's double expanding. That's how desperate he is. But this also means that even though Solar has been stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager, it's still worth it. Like, it's still paying off. He is doing enough. Sure, the army of creator is getting stronger and stronger, but he just doesn't have the economy to sustain himself. He's just spread too far thin. Doesn't have the numbers, doesn't have any stack defense. And we're going to force a cancel on this Nexus. Up. Hydras have arrived. Slowly transitioning into Lingbane Hydra. Out of Roach Ravager. We cancel the fourth. We're going to be canceling the fifth. Once creator, he just wants to expand. Not like this. High Templar! We get both High Templar. Big pickups. So they collapses on these Immortals as well. Creator losing far too much here. Very expensive pickups. At the same time, trying to push on forward. Creator at this point, he's all in. 100% all in. That's a lot. How many Immortals does he have? 9! 9 Immortals. And 5 Archons. Again, this is what creator does. He builds up a death ball of an army, but he just can't sustain himself, and he's pushing forward. Trying to push in. Have a decent storm. But we need more than just pure Immortal Archon. We need a buffer. We need Stalkers, Zealots. Creator, he does have 1k minerals in the bank. How many gateways do we have? We do have 8 gates. That's okay. Here we go. Pushing our way up this ramp. Creator essentially 3-base all in. He's gaining ground. But the links come in to reinforce. And this army is slowly becoming actually just pure Immortal Archon. Oh my god. Files are going to be connecting. We're trying to break through. We're trying to break in, but alas, we just cannot. Massive files here on the Prism. Prism goes down. And Solar will clean this up. GG gets called. Solar taking game number 3. Taking a lead in the Specify. GG. GG, well played. Oh. And I wonder. GG, well played. And with that, Solar, he does take a lead in the series. And do I have our next game here? Potentially. Hold on, we need to figure this out. Here we go. Game 4 is going to be on Site Delta. Whew. Big shout out to Icecar. Icecar, he's our ESL admin. Fun fact, Icecar isn't even at home. He's like off, like commuting on his phone talking to me. He's like, man, I got you. You just sent me a replay pack. Let's go. Vámonos. As we are loading into Site Delta and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player representing Team Onside, leading the series 2-1. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss representing Club NV. It is Creator. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Okay, but talking about that last game, talking about the warpins as well, I wonder, because we did have 1k minerals in the back, if Creator was able to actually hit his warpins, maybe have up to 10, even 12, oh my, 10 or even 12, as we get our hatch on location again, 10 or even 12 gateways, and Creator's actually able to spend his money and invest into Zealots, really Zealots more than anything, because he didn't have any gas, he only had minerals. Would he have been able to break through? Potentially. I mean, Solar, he barely held on. Like, it was surprisingly close how well the army of Creator was trading. If we were able to warp in another 10 plus Zealots here to support, could we have broken through? I think so, actually. I think we could have broken through the main army. I don't know if it would have been enough to snowball and end the game and win it for Creator, but it would have been much closer. Like, again... it would have been much closer, and again, like, I'm just so surprised by how well, or how terrifying that army, that like 9 immortal army was from Creator in that last game. It's crazy. But here we go, we're getting into our next game. Whew. Once again, Solar able to get into his hatch gas pool. Able to get into a standard opener. With this hatch at his natural location, this should deter a Twilight Council opener, especially on Site Delta where we have a ramp leading into the natural. It's very difficult to make Glaive Adepts work. The reason why I say this is because we get our natural up and running, we have creep here covering the ramp, and we're able to throw down our tech as a part of a wall, and we're able to fully wall off and shut down, again, Glaive Adepts really early on. So we'll see what kind of direction Creator does take us in. He's been going for a Stargate every game so far. I imagine we're going to be seeing that again. Here we go. Now that is cute. Oh, it's the tuna. It's jamming, Bobby. It's jamming. And oh my god, as I was talking about how a Twilight Council would be deterred here for the first time this series, we do have a Twilight Council opener out of Creator. Twilight Council has been thrown down. We'll keep our eye on the gases. Now, if he does pull out a gas, this is going to be a Glaive Adept variation. If he stays in, we could see a Dark Shrine opener instead. Overlord trying to come in for a scout is denied by the Stalker, and we can see we haven't pulled out a gas. Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is on the way. If we stay in gas and if it's Glaives, then we can go up to 6 Gate Glaive Adepts for a 2-base all-in, or we can go Glaives in conjunction with Dark Templar as well. That's just that's the kind of tell here to know to separate one from the other. But it is going to be DTs with a Dark Templar opener. It isn't just about the Dark Templar dealing damage. Even if there's detection, even if they don't get too many workers, you can always back off, you can save them, you can preserve them, and get into an Archon drop instead. Here we go. Meanwhile, back at home, ooh, we do have a pretty early Roach Warren here. This was around a 350-ish Roach Warren from Solar. Very early, very safe here. I'm not going to say aggressive, just safe overall, especially considering that he has correctly identified it is a Twilight Council. He doesn't know if it's Glaives or Dark Templar. He's still not fully aware if it's one or the other, especially with these Adepts revealing themselves. So Creator, he's trying to sell a story. If Solar is convinced that it's going to be Glaive Adepts, then he won't throw down Spores. And for the time being, 0 Spore Crawlers. Uh-oh. Okay, Spores, they just now start up. Dark Templar are on the way, but the Spores, they just began. We could even get on top of them. DTs, they're actually going to connect with the Queens instead. But there we go, they're going straight for the Spore. Is it going to finish? One Queen does go down, but you get a second. The Spore is going to be cancelled. And with that, the Adepts go down, but the DTs, they can take control of this third base. Instead of going for the hatchery, they are going for the Queens. A bit of wasted DPS. Not too sure if I'm fond of it. Additional Dark Templar on the way. 1 DT gets caught out. And we're going for the hatchery, but I don't think we can get it. Yeah, the Queens, they arrive just in time. The Spore as well. And this could have been disastrous. This could have been disastrous here for Solar, but he saves his hatchery in the end. And yeah, I'm not too in love with Creator going for the Queens. They are valuable pickoffs, don't get me wrong, but it's possible that he could have killed this hatchery. Alas, it does survive. Meanwhile, we have a massive lane counterattack, and the DTs are not going to be enough. We force a cancel on the third base. Ay. No, it's Creator. He tries to take another third, and it's going to be cancelled as well. There's no saving it. Denying both third bases, and we're going for another. Not again. Solar, can he deny it for a third time? No shot. Okay, this time he won't. Thankfully. Creator, he just wants to expand. Just wants a base. We'll save it. But again, that was brutal. This third is so heavily delayed here for Creator. Archons have been morphed in. Behind this, we're getting in towards charge. We catch a Stalker. At the same time, Dark Templar, they do catch a couple of workers here at the third. An Overseer has arrived. We have plenty of detection. These Dark Templar are going to be forced out. They get a Roach. And another drone. Not bad. Not too bad. The game is going to settle for a moment. Interesting that Creator is still committed to Dark Templar harass instead of Archon harass. Keeping the Archons back at home to defend. And yeah, he's getting into a charged out Archon Immortal base composition. So, oh my god, we're being so adventurous. So a very robust army, very similar to the previous game, but very immobile. Not too many Blink Stalkers. As a result, Creator is going to be stuck defending back at home. Meanwhile, second Robo's on the way for double Immortal production. So we should be building up again towards a very similar composition to last game. It is a tough start here for Creator. He's taking a fourth this time, and he should be able to hold on to it, but it's just such a delayed third. And Solar should be able to drone up to 4 base saturation without too much issue. Should be able to. That's also why it's so important that Creator is active with this army. It's very bold of him to move out with a handful of units like this, like 3 Archons and 1 Sentry. But he has a recall available, he can force field. And he has to find something. Gets a tumor, he has to get the hell out of here. Oh god. Trading with the Lings, and he is forced to recall. And won't lose any of his units. At the same time, Archon drop into the main. We do get into the mineral line. Solar out of position. He's out of position because he's going across the map, sending everything out towards the third base. He catches an Immortal. Immortal's going to go down. We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, but that's a free Immortal here for Solar. He's pushing on through. We have the overcharge. Does keep the army alive. And Creator, he's going to hold on for a moment. But Solar, he just has to wait out that overcharge and come in again. Got the probes. 3 of them get caught out. Solar pushing towards that natural. We do have a good positioning from Creator, attacking from both angles. But Solar, he pushes towards the natural. He gets another Immortal. There's no shield battery. No shield battery here at the natural base. Ay. Solar, he diverts his attention towards the third. He picks up an Archon. There's just not enough here to support. Yeah, it looks like this third base has been broken. There's just too much Zerg, just too many Roaches. GG gets called, and Solar takes the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar again, really punishing the Dark Templar opener of his opponent. We canceled the third base twice before finally throwing it down. Like, again, just a really shaky follow-up out of Creator, which did impact his economy, which likewise impacted his army size as well. That's why he was so vulnerable at that moment to the attack of his opponent. Likewise, he was also rushing into a faster fourth because he had to make up for his late third with a faster fourth, and as a result, he was vulnerable. As a result, Solar was there to punish him. But even though this was a 3-1 score, even though on paper this was a little bit more one-sided, this was a really great series, actually. It was it was really good. It was really good. The first, especially 3 games of this series, I feel were very close, very back and forth. Even the game on Hecate, we mentioned that if Creator was able to get his warp-ins going, if he was able to reinforce, spend his minerals, because he had over 1,000 minerals in the bank, his all-in that he was forced into, I mean, even that was really close. Even that almost broke Solar then and there, just because of the sheer amount of Immortals and Archons that he had. It was crazy. This game here was more one-sided, is what I will say. Game 4 had a lot to live up to compared to the rest of the series, and Solo was able to shut Creator down a lot earlier. This is the risk you take when you go for a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council openers, they're built around getting economic damage done and getting an advantage early on, and if you don't, it's hard to recover from that. And you know, Creator, he kind of put himself in that position, as opposed to a more economic Stargate opener, for example. So Game 4 was was a little bit less back and forth and less close, but every other game, solid here from both Creator and Solar. GG, well played. And with that wraps up our coverage here of ESL Open Cup Asia. Beautiful. It was a great tournament here. It was almost 5 hours. Oh my god, I did not expect it to go on for this long. 4.5 hours here. The stream did go down earlier, unfortunately. I do apologize for that. In the middle of Oliveira versus Solar, stream did go down. But thank you everyone who did stick around for that and who did wait for us to come back online. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And hope you guys had a great time here. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. For those that are curious, this is a weekly tournament, and we are always here to cover it. We should be back next week, next Monday, for ESL Open Cup Asia 204. We'll be back. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. For now, we are going to be done here with our broadcast. We're going to be back tomorrow, I believe. Tomorrow with... What are we casting tomorrow, actually? Do we have it? Hold on, I'm checking my calendar. Just double checking. No, sorry. Oh my god, I forgot. Tomorrow, for the first time since... I'm checking the calendar. For the first time since August the 15th. So it's been a couple of months. For the first time since August, we get a day off. we have a day off. We've been casting every single day outside of that. And the reason why we have a day off, 2 reasons. 1, World Team League is on hiatus. World Team League is taking a week off, so usually we cast WTL on Fridays. Not tomorrow, as it's on hiatus. But there's a reason why it's on hiatus. Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got some Home Story Cup action going on, so make sure you're a part of that. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be an amazing tournament. We even have a Duckling at Home Story Cup as well, as Dolan has traveled to Germany and is going to be there in person, live at the event. One of the ducks, Pappy. One of the ducks. It's going to be beautiful. So Dolan's going to be there. We won't be a part of the broadcast. They will have a B stream, but I believe the B stream is being covered by Steadfast. He's going to be covering that on his own channel. We will most likely do a replay cast. Home Story Cup, it's at an awful time for us. We're here in Australia. Home Story Cup usually is like 10 p.m. to like 8 a.m. for us. It's not good. It's not. And I would love to ruin my sleep schedule and stay up for it. And I would. The problem is that we are casting other events over the weekend, and I have to be awake for those. So I have to sleep at some point. Over the weekend, we're going to be live with KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, GPO, Grand Platypus Open, Oceanic Bi-Weekly Tournament, and Sparkling Tuna Cup, our own open weekly tournament as well. So we're going to be live with our own events, but Home Story Cup will be also going on as well in the evening. So plenty of StarCraft going on over the weekend. But again, we don't have anything lined up for tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, we don't have anything lined up for tomorrow. Technically, I could do a replay cast. I totally could. I could like do a replay cast of ESL Masters Winter. Like the replays were released publicly, and there's some really good matches there. So I'm tempted, but it would also be nice to take a day off for once. It would be nice. I say that I'm probably going to be streaming. I'm probably going to be having a ladder session on my own personal channel. You can follow me. Hold on. You can follow myself if you're interested. Bam. Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream whenever I'm not casting, and tomorrow I can actually stream. I'm very rusty because we've been casting on a daily basis. I actually don't have time to ladder. I have very limited time to ladder, and because of that, it's like I've just been stagnating, if not just receding in skill, unfortunately. So yeah, we're gonna have to try to shake off all the rust and get back into the swing of things. So if you're interested, probably going to be laddering at some point tomorrow over on my own personal channel. Otherwise, you can follow us on the CranKy Ducklings. All things CranKy Ducklings. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Discord server as well. !YouTube in the chat, where you can get some daily YouTube content we do upload on a daily basis. Sometimes, or usually multiple times a day as well, because we have so much content to share on YouTube. So again, if you can't tune in live, we got you covered over on YouTube instead. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. You can also support us on Discord. If you're on our Discord server and if you're a subscriber, we do send out replay packs to our subscribers. So if you want to learn, examine, and study some Serral VODs, some Serral replays, or some Rainer, some Clem, Maru, Björn, all things StarCraft, really, then we do share our replay packs for tournaments we have the permission to share, like Kung Fu Cup, STC, GPO, OSC. We do share replays, so we got you covered there. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for Home Story Cup. We won't be casting tomorrow, but enjoy Home Story Cup. Again, it's always a great tournament to be a part of, always a great tournament to tune into. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Oh, otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so stick around and enjoy. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego.